Yes. What y'all think about last week? Some of those principles that we got an opportunity to learn.
Awesome.
Good. I hope that you took the printed material that was handed out on last week. We don't want to just talk about these things on Wednesday nights, but we want to do some practical application. And so whatever is put in your hands, take full advantage of it. Again, we had posted those principles, in the Cosmo Facebook group. And so if you need to refer back to those, we'll refresh those and bring those back up to the top so that you can see it. Also, the worksheets that Deacon James handed out last class. So has anybody been writing down what you're spending?
Well, we were told to put it in an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, well, but you got it some kind of way, copy. Overachievers, amen. Overachievers. I'm walking around with an Excel spreadsheet on my phone. But that really makes a difference when you make a note of everything that you spend. It makes you really conscious of it. And building budgets and doing all of those kinds of things are going to be the things that are really going to change our lives if we do and apply the things that we learn all this week. So I want to say to you that I'm very proud of you. I'm proud that you are here to get this information because it says that you are really very interested in changing your financial life. And as we promised, we've got professionals who are coming in to help us with this. And so we have our own, what was the word of the day last week? Fastidious Deacon James Coney, amen, who helps to make sure that we get what we need. And if you would, give God praise for the gift that he is. And he's going to come and talk to us for a moment, and then he will introduce our presenter for tonight. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. Give God.
Good evening, everybody.
Amen.
How many of you actually are writing down and looking at how much money you're spending per day?
Yes, Lord.
How many of you were surprised at what you were spending money on? Okay, so keep doing that because next week, Sister Angela and I are going to come up here and we're going to teach you, work with you to help you to live on a margin or remove some of the excess spending or show you ways to save money based on what you're spending on a daily basis. Because if you're like me, I've gotten to the point I won't even get in the car and go somewhere and spend money on lunch. I'll eat a salad rather than go buy lunch, because if you're spending $8, $10 a day, that's $50 a week, $200 a month. So $240 a year that you could be saving to invest or do whatever else it is that you want to do. Last week, I'm going to just run through a couple of the things that Pastor talked about last week in our class. He talked to us, if I put on my glasses, I might be able to see this and don't have to hold it down in my feet. He talked to us about God is our source. And he went through Deuteronomy, Philippians, Proverbs, and then he moved on to giving, and he talked about giving. And these are all biblical principles on how God is your source and how you're supposed to give. He talked about living on the margin. How many of us really knew that the Bible taught us that we're really supposed to be living on the margin? Well, he taught us that last week, and he went to Proverbs to do that. And he talked to us on biblical principles of saving. So just keep going back and reading those scriptures and let it get down in you, get in your mind, and it helps to change your mindset when you realize that you're doing what God intended for you to do when you start saving and you start budgeting and you start paying yourself. A lot of people don't understand that paying yourself is part of that saving process, and God intended for you to do those things. How to avoid debt, biblical principles on avoiding debt. Learning to be content with where you are, what you have, and building your will. And then don't co-sign and working hard. All of these are biblical principles that he taught. So go back, keep reading them as you're building your budget, as you're praying over this. Keep reading those things so that you can grow your will. Now I want to introduce someone to you tonight, and she's going to come and she's going to, this part of the financial class is investing, how to build your wealth and how to build wealth for generations. Pastor always talk about generational wealth. It's good for you to live well, but when you build wealth that generationally, people will live from, that's a good thing. Michelle Carter is an inspiring writer and entrepreneur who understands the importance of being proactive source when it comes to discussing relevant issues that are financially impacting not only from an individual perspective, but as a collective. Her aspiration and inspiration stem from an innate obsession to stimulate a positive voice for change in the midst on all levels. She shares awareness of many subjects, whether it's addressing issues on social inequalities, financial disproportion among gender classes. The political uncertainty across the country have inspired her to address these issues that affect individual financial security head on. In an effort to address social inequalities when it affects their financial and personal accountability to prepare for the future, she's relentless. Through sharing her knowledge with business, school administrators, churches, personal coaching, demonstrate how people view insurance products as a means to save and protect their families. She shares strategies of how easy it is to use insurance products to achieve your financial goals and creating generational wealth. Through her efforts, Michelle hopes to motivate and kindle financial consciousness using insurance strategies that will ultimately lead to strong financial futures for all who take advantage of the power of the information. With that said, let's give her a hand as Michelle comes forward.
Thank you. I seeing you guys walk in here to understand where you are financially, that's the first step. Because most of us, we just spend, and then you wonder why you don't have money for this, you're searching for this, you're looking for this, you're borrowing here to pay, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. So basically, what your pastor is doing, I think is phenomenal for you. And I mean, just give him a hand, because this is just addressing the issues is most important than not addressing them. When you look around with the financial crisis that's going on today, it's up to you to kind of get yourself ready. If you're young, it's the right time, okay? If you're a little older, like myself, you got to hurry up, okay? Because if you're banking on Social Security, I just want you to know that they just moved it to 66, not 65, but 66. But they also says that Medicare will be gone by 2032. Well, we're already in 2016. You might as well say we're in 2017. Okay? So now is the time to now start thinking about what I need to do to get myself together. For those who are not going to take the information and make something happen for yourself and start saving and really buckling down, you know, there's going to be a lot of homeless people walking the streets. I'm just going to give it to you straight, okay? So when you listening to the news, pay attention. Also research and make sure that you understand how important it is for your finances to be okay. Because you don't want to have something happen to you and then your family is struggling. So let me tell you the story. My brother's next to me. He's a little 1 year older than I was. And I had talked to him about, at the time I was into burial situations, burial properties and things like that. And I talked to him about doing life insurance. And, oh, I got that. I ain't worried about that. I got that. I'm taken care of. I said, okay, you know. And unfortunately, at the age of 39, he died. Okay. And so we're in there looking for life insurance policies to try to bury him, and he had nothing. Okay. And it was very stressful for the family. If you know anybody that have passed away that didn't have nothing, raise your hand. There's a lot of us out there. The statistics say that 60% of Americans are underinsured or have no insurance whatsoever. Okay? So what we're doing now is we're stressing out our family. Okay? So it's for you to take responsibility to protect yourself and those that you love. And if you want to leave them a little something, you can. But what I'm going to show you tonight is a strategy, one strategy. If they invite me back, I have a whole bunch of strategies, but I think that this strategy is a good strategy to start out with, because a lot of times we don't have a lot of money, okay? But when you think about it, you do have a lot of money. You're just mismanaging your money, okay? So it's up to you to decide how you want to see yourself when you get 66 now. So if anyone, how many of you guys are in your 20s? Okay. So in your 20s, you got a little time, and you got a lot of time to build wealth. Not only do you have time to build wealth, you have time to build generational wealth. Okay. And so what I'm going to do tonight is introduce you to a product that at one time insurance consultants like myself weren't able to show you these type of vehicles if you weren't in the 1 or 3% class earners, okay? But when Obama came, he said, hey, everybody open the door, you can give it to them and let them, you know, figure out what it is that they need to do and do what they need to do. So I'm going to introduce you to Index Universal Life. A lot of times you'll hear people say IULs, okay? Now, when you think about insurance, tell me, what do you think about insurance? Give me some hands. What do you think about insurance? When someone says, do you have insurance? You say yes. So when you think about that, what do you think that you're protecting at that time?
Usually your house, first thing you think.
Okay. So if they say life insurance, what do you think that they're asking? What are they thinking? What are you thinking that they're asking you?
At that point, I would say like fees as far as burial fees, maybe something for your family to have after all that is taken care of.
Okay, that's correct. Anybody else? Okay, so on an average, on life insurance, to take care of your family, what is a number that you will use in your mind to say, okay, yeah, that'll take care of me, and then I'll take care of some of my family if I should die. What number? What number would you give?
200,000.
200,000.
I'd say probably 10 times my income.
10 times your income. Come on, Pastor, you be quiet. Okay, 500,000 ounces says. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. So the whole thing of what I do, if I become your consultant, I teach you how not only to protect your family, but I also teach you how to get out of debt. My record is 5 years and 8 months to pay off a 30-year mortgage.
Wow.
Okay? It's real simple,
Wow.
but you have to be disciplined. Okay? You have to be disciplined. Your partner say, hey, let's go. You be like, oh, no. I've met my budget for the year, for the month. Okay? So I always like to say, if you follow the yellow brick road, you'll get there. Okay? So now I want to introduce the IULs, which is an Index Universal Life. What IULs do, and it's one of the most powerful, affordable tools you can use to get from point A to point Z and be very, very happy with the outcome, okay? Now, an IUL, it doesn't just take care of life, okay? It takes care of, should I die early? Okay. Should I live long? If I live a long time, it'll take care of that. And it also takes care of what if I get sick and can't work? Somebody tell me, what is the most important asset in your life? What you say? Your health? Someone else? Huh? Who do you think? You said health?
I say my family.
What is the most important asset in your life? That's correct. You are. You're the most important asset. Because if you cannot get up in the morning and go to work, what happens? what happens?
Falls apart.
I mean, all the nice cars and everything, they go away, don't they? Because what happens is when you can't pay your bills, the bill collector really don't care about that, okay? And they come and get everything that you own. Now with an IUL, not only does it protect those three things, it also is a protection against the IRS. They come get everything in your house, but they cannot mess with this IUL. Okay? Some of y'all I don't know if y'all want to hear about it, but you know, O.J. Simpson, he has 10 of them. He's still a millionaire because he has those. They took all his money, but they couldn't get that money there. So whenever he gets out, he's still a millionaire. They cannot bother with it. These are vehicles that protect your money and tax-free. Okay? So what I'd like to say, if I'm going to flicker or somebody going, okay. All right, so the types of life insurance that we're most notable for, we know about the old protection. I always ask people, I say, do you have the old protection or the new protection? They be like, I don't know, I don't know. Well, the old protection is just getting enough money to bury yourself, okay? Paying into a policy with no return investments. Most of the time people get in term policies, and term policies are policies that last over a term period, either 10, 20, or 30 years. After the term has ended, if you don't have that consultant that's, hey, Angela, I need you to come on in right now because you're about to, term out, you can take those terms and flip them into a universal life that lasts 100 years, okay? Most of us probably will never see 100 years. But in 30 years, it ends. In 20 years, it ends. In 15 years, it ends. So it depends on which type of policy you have, okay? So the old policy has no coverage for critical illness, chronic illnesses, or disability. Most of the time when you are not able to get to work because of an illness or a sickness, it's because either you're sick or you were injured. That takes you out. If you don't have any protection that's going to pay you so that you can pay the people that you owe, then right there you know there's something you need to do, okay? When your policy lapses without reinstatement options, meaning that when you, oh, Michelle, I can't pay this money this month, then your policy lapses, or you have to catch up to get the policy back in place. That's the old type of policy. And you pay taxes for loan requests, okay? So say that it has some accumulation in your policy, you got a little behind something and you wanted to get a loan on your policy, which you could, but you're gonna pay taxes on it. And then you have to pay the insurance company back what you borrowed, plus the taxes, okay? Well, the new policy and the new protection that I'm talking about tonight is the IUL. It provides protection in death and in life, okay? It provides a return of premium at the policy's expiration date. It provides increasing accumulation value. That's key. The accumulation value, anybody invest in 401ks? Oh no. Well, I'm late. Well, 401ks are good, I per se, if you're in there, if your company is matching what you put in, don't ever overmatch them. If they put in 2, you put in 2. They put in 1, you put in 1, because it's free money, okay? The bad thing about a 401k is that if this country ever gets in trouble, I want y'all to hear me, like 2008, they had a meeting about your 401ks. They can take your 401k and tell you nothing. Okay? Now, with that, you say, well, Michelle, it's putting away money. At what rate is it putting away the money? 1 point something, or 0.1 something, or 0.2 something. You're not making any money. Einstein says if it's not 3% or more, you're losing money. Okay? So, with that, the government has you putting in there, that's the government's money. They can take it and tell you nothing and say, well, we needed to use it for the country. You put your life savings there, so where do you go then? So when you get 65, now 66, they say you can get your full pension from your 401k, right? But they dish it out to you as they want to dish it out, because if you got $100,000, they give you $1,500 a month. Well, they're using all that back money to invest and get more money for themselves. So you got to be smart when you're investing and being able to have control of your money. Okay, you got to have control of your money. So I wouldn't tell you to pull out the 401ks, but if you move to another job, you call me. Okay? Because that's the only time that we can move your money, and that's if that particular company allows you to liquidate that money. Like if you're working for a school district, no. Okay? They're not going to let you do it. They lock you in for life. So why would you be in an investment of that kind? So we're going to walk through this here. You also have where it's included, there's no additional cost for critical or chronic illnesses or critical injuries. What that means that if you outright, everybody drives, right? What if you had a bad accident and you couldn't work, you couldn't even put on your clothes, and then you had this policy here? What they do is they accelerate a benefit for you, whether it is monthly or you can take half of the death benefit up front. They'll give it to you. Okay, so you have a policy that will work for you more than what it does for death. Yeah, we're gonna take care of death, but what about me if I live? Okay, so that's the beauty of this particular plan. You have riders to enhance your policy. You have riders you can put in for your grandkids to have. It's a lot of riders that you can do for education. You have the option to do whatever you want to do with these type of policies. You can turn up the life insurance plan on it. You can turn on your income at whatever age you want to turn it on to. We say 65 because we say let it build in, but you have control. No one tells you no, okay? Maybe your daughter 10 years from now was getting married. You want to take out $10,000. You go in and you take out $10,000, tax free. Okay? You don't pay any taxes on it, right? I love it. All right, so interest earned based on the S&P 500 strategies without risk. Okay? So you're in a 401k, right? And when the stock market crashes, what happens to your money? Your hard-earned money, right? All right, so you're banking on that they don't crash, right? Okay, well this particular policy, what it does, you earn interest on the S&P stock without risk. You know how you do that? Because your money is never in the stock. It is based upon the stock. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so right now on a flex, you're receiving 7.33% on your money. Now the money that I'm talking about is your premium money. Every time you make a payment, it goes into a little holding spot. It has a death benefit on the backside, but it also has an investment. As you're making your premium, it's receiving that percentage rate, okay? Whether or not the strategy is point to point, at the end of the year, point to monthly strategies. At the end of the year, you are credited whatever strategy you have chosen, which we'll choose together if you're working with me, okay? And we watch how your money grows. And it comes out automatically, so you don't have to, just make sure that it's there. The next beautiful thing about an IUL is like you can fund this IUL with more money, okay? Even though, say you're making a monthly premium payment of $75. You get your income tax check, you want to throw in $500 in your IUL. What you are doing is putting more money in so that you can gain more interest. More money, more interest, okay? So your plan starts to really, really grow and compound. So if you're getting a 7.33% based upon the law and the rule of compounding interest, that means that your money will double every nine years. I can take your 401k and start you with the same 401k, and I can outpace you in 10 years. I'll have more money than you have, okay? So this is the beauty of this particular product. Okay, next slide.
Michelle, can I ask a question?
Yes,
before we go
yes,
on that?
yes.
The 7.33, how is it compounded? Do y'all do it quarterly? Is it monthly? Is it once a year?
Well, the 7.33 is what the stock market was, I guess last week. It's a live stock market numbers. And so the S&P 500, if you don't know what those are like IRAs, things that we use in different commodities that we use. You know, you're gonna go to McDonald's if you don't have no money, you know, so those things, the S&P really does well because we use all those commodities all the time. And the percentage is based upon what the stock is showing. Now, if today I looked at the stock, it was like 6.3, okay? That's, as it fluctuates, it doesn't bother you any because at the end of the year, they take the average, if that's one of the strategies we chose. Or if they took the point-to-point monthly.
Okay.
Okay?
That was the question. So I get to choose.
Yeah,
when
we
it comes.
we choose the strategy.
Okay.
Yeah, and I usually like to choose just 2 strategies. A lot of people have strategies, got the money all over. I say 2, just 2, because you're gonna watch your money grow anyway, okay? So when the stock market is, you're putting in your money here, right? The stock market is going, but when the stock market takes a dip in an IUL, you just stay there, okay? You just stay there and you wait for the stock to come back up and then you keep chucking up. Okay, so if you had $20,000 in there, right? Stock market crash, you don't lose $20,000, but 401k, I'm sorry to tell you, you're going to lose your $20,000.
Wow.
Because you're at risk. Okay.
So when we say the 7.33, is that like a floor?
That's the interest rate. Your floor is with National Life, and this is the product that I bought. I really like National Life. National Life's, your floor is 0. So what that means is that you'll never go negative. Okay, but they guarantee you 2% regardless of what the stock is doing. So you can't lose anyway. Okay, so basically, so that's what happens. So you don't lose, but if you have your money in something that is like a 401k, risky, your money is in there, you lose, you just lose. Okay, so the challenging times right now, most of us are having is, you know, trying to deal with what's going on in America financially. I mean, some people are losing jobs, some people are not making enough money to try to put something away. But I do want to share something. It's a guy that I was going to send that video. He's been putting away $25 every pay period that he got paid into an IUL. He's worth $500,000. He's done that for 30 years. That's what they do. That's what an IUL does for you. All right. So, go ahead. All right. The global financial crisis have caused a huge economic distress. Millions of families are struggling trying to stay abreast. Okay. And what most people are enduring are bankruptcies, more debt, foreclosures. So you got to figure out what do I need to do? What do I need to do to change this situation for myself? Maybe I can bring my family members in and we can figure this thing out because nobody has money, okay? So you're losing, you know, in your savings. How many people have 6 months worth of savings in your savings account? Okay, not a lot. Do you understand? This here helps you do that because you're creating a savings in that IUL, right? And you are able to use it whenever you want, but you want it to build. You don't want to go run in there to get it. As soon as you put in there 2 years, you run in to get it because you can't win that way. You're looking for the future. Is there any questions so far? Okay. What's happening now is a lot of automation is replacing workers. You know what 10 workers used to do, now only 3 workers do. So the challenging times are really getting hectic here now, and you have to figure out what you need to do. And this is a very good tool to use to try to get you somewhere. So once I set you up with an IUL, you get your debt paid off and things like that, then I introduce you to another product, maybe an index index annuity, basically. Maybe you've had enough money or you've retired and got money that you need to put into an annuity. We will work with you to try to build that foundation that you're trying to build. Okay?
Next question.
Yes.
Is every withdrawal considered a loan and it has to be repaid, or is there something?
No, no. When you withdraw, it's like withdrawing, you're the bank. You're withdrawing your own money, okay? You don't pay any taxes on it. You don't pay it back if you don't want to. You don't have to. It's yours, okay? So what happens, Michelle? What happens? And we'll get to that, and I'm going to show you how it all works. Go ahead. So we're just kind of talking about the challenging times, unemployment and increase in part-time jobs, and you still can save. I don't care what nobody says. Hey, Michelle, I don't have nothing. If you could take $25, that's 2 weeks if you go out to eat lunch or once a week, you take $25 and you dedicate that $25 or that $50 to an IUL, you will amaze yourself. It happens, okay? And I will show you that. So the result, the consumer is hurting more and more and confused as ever. So what we're trying to do now and what we've been taught is the American dream. What is the American dream? Go to college, okay? We've been taught what? Go to college, get a good education, right? Go to college and get more education, right? Get a good job with a successful corporation, right? Give them everything you have for 40 years, right? Tell me if I'm wrong, right? You retire and enjoy life. Is that what happens? What? That's not what happens. What? That's not what happens? Well, let's do the reality. What is reality? Okay. Get your education. Keep going. Work for somebody else, a company in their dreams, all right? Give them everything you have for 40 years, right? Retire and try to make it, this is key, on 1/3 of the income that you couldn't make on the full income over the 40 years. I just want y'all to, can we say amen? Yeah. Okay. You go back to work, and I ain't trying to be mad. I'm not trying to be messy about this next shot here. This is becoming the new American reality. Yeah. What should that grandparent? What should that grandparent should not be at Walmart asking you, welcome, come, thank you for being at Walmart. He should be trying to somewhere spoiling his grandkids. Do you understand? So this is going to be the reality, folks. I'm just trying to let you know this is information is always power. Okay? All right. So let's take control of our future. Your challenge is proper life insurance to protect your family for life, disability, or any type of sickness. All right? Plan to reduce liability and get out of debt sooner. I told you my record is 5'8", okay? I can do it, but you have to be able to follow the yellow brick road, okay? All right, you're dealing with uncertainties of your job career. If you lost your job today, you got to go to the unemployment office. But what if you could go to your own bank yourself, which is your IUL, and say, hey, listen, give me $30,000, hold me till I can get where I need to be, okay? That's how you do that, all right? Some people can get more than that because they have been investing more, okay? So just because your monthly premium is $75 or $100 or whatever it is, when you get extra money, you call them up. Hey, I want to put $500 in there because this is for you. You're trying to figure out that 10 years from now, if I'm hurt, I lose my job, I need to be able to go to my savings here, okay? All right, so you deal with uncertainties, retirement with adequate income. How would you like to retire and turn on the income that you chose that you wanted? Not a 401k saying, okay, we're going to give you this right here. You decide, with an IUL, you decide to turn on the income at 65. You can get your money whenever you want. It's yours. Okay? So at 65, you can say, hey, Michelle, I'm ready to turn on my income. I'll ask you, do you want to do it for the rest of your life or do you want to do it for 10 years? That's it. You say, hey, I want to do it for 10 years. That's what will happen. Okay? All right. So basically, taking control of your life, What we have to do now is just start to build the foundation. And where do you build the foundation? Do you build it up here, or do you build it down at the bottom? Bottom. So the bottom is what? Life insurance, okay? Making sure that you take care of if I should die, or if I should live, or if I should get injured, I'm okay. Okay? All right, manage your debt. That's key. That's what your pastor's been talking about, managing your debt. You have to learn how to just pay yourself. I know back in the day, Angela could contest to this, I wasn't doing nothing. I'm spending money. Ooh, just going crazy, right? And then you get your, and let me hold $500. Let me hold $1,000 because you are mismanaging your money, okay? But when you learn different, you have to what? You gotta do different, all right? So you have to have a crisis fund. I say the crisis fund is, just think about Katrina. Would you have been ready? Wow. Would you have been ready? Would you had enough time to run to the bank and get your money and get out of town? Okay. So if you know that you're not ready, this is something that you need to do. That lets you know right then, that confirms to that, okay? All right, savings account, I asked about who had at least 3 to 6 months of savings. Only 2 or 3 people raised their hand. That's a problem, okay? All right. It must be built from foundation up, which we know that. All right, so the importance of paying yourself. I thought that was key that your pastor said that, because you got to pay yourself. Because I think that if you pay yourself, you're giving yourself a budget, okay? You know your bills, pay yourself, and then put the rest in your what? Your IUL, not just a savings. Savings account in the bank right now is giving you 0.1. I'm trying to give you 5.33 or 7.33. Which one you want? Okay, there you go. All right. Yes, sir.
So are you suggesting to not really focus on your savings, focus on this?
Yeah, the savings can't get you this that. Have you what bank? I don't care what bank you bank at. It don't matter. They all the same. If I'm offering you 5 point something, 5.33 or 7.33, which one you want to put your money in?
So Michelle, shouldn't you keep your crisis fund in your savings account?
Crisis fund can be put in a savings account that you can get to, and yeah, that you can get to. That's when you're speaking of crisis and your savings. But when you have this is for really, really something major happening. You may want to buy a home. You got this, go get the money. Put the down payment on your own home. You ain't got to struggle for it. You got to prepare for it. I think that what we find in the community, especially in the black community, we don't plan. We just live day for day. We don't plan. So you got to start planning to be successful. Okay? All right, let's take this person, this individual here. She saved $2,400 per year for 7 years. And look at her interest. It's 6% tax deferred. Tax deferred, what tax deferred means is that we're going to defer the taxes and let you make your money. Then when you take it out, we're going to hit you with the taxes. But you made all the money, so you can afford to pay those taxes, okay? That's all that means. So then the second person comes in, they start, now look here, at the age of 48, all right? She saved about $54,000 here, right? Right? Now her total accumulation, and this is basically what an IUL does. She paid in for 7 years, and her accumulation value was $20,000 based on the interest rate. Nobody can show me no product. You ain't got none in here. I don't even care if you got an annuity and investment. Can I paste this one right here? Okay? You don't. It is not one out there. I've been looking. Okay? So now this person here, they start saving for 7 years after this person began. Okay? They did it for 17 years at 6%. They're not off by much, are they? Because he started early, right? He paid less He did 17 years. I'm just saying. Okay? All right? Okay. All right. So creating an emergency fund. Emergency fund means what to you guys?
Go to event of an emergency.
Okay, do you go to the emergency just because you and your girls want to go down the street? Your boys want to hang out, drink some liquor?
Can't pay taxes on the house.
I'm just asking, what is emergency fund? Because you know you have to have the creation.
A bump in the road, won't throw me in the ditch.
Exactly. You can't run to that emergency fund every time you think you have a crisis. Okay, because you can't save like that. Okay? All right. All right, so you should set aside at least 3 to 6 months of income to help cope with emergencies and unexpected changes, because things change. If you're not planning for things to change, just look at Katrina. They weren't thinking about that. You understand? So you gotta understand that you have to take control of your financial future. Your financial future will control you if you don't take control of it.
Yes.
Okay? All right. Okay, so job loss kind of helps with the emergency fund. If you lose your job, you got 6 months of income, you're okay. You can get back out there and find another job. Okay? Major home damage or repair, and illnesses, being prepared for the unexpected. All right? So you take care of your family. And how do you think do you take care of your family? What you need to do based upon what you've heard so far.
Need to pull out here.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay. All right. All right. So this is how I, as your consultant, come in, sit down with you. You give me all your debt. You tell me everything about you. You know. I give you a yellow brick road to follow, and I come back a year later, and I want to see everything we said we talked about. And sometimes when you get in that situation, you have to be able to call me, right? So we can talk about it, all right? So I call this the dime effect. The dime effect is D-I-M-E, debt, income, mortgage, education, all right? So go ahead. So when we do the dime effect, just say what Pastor had said. The debt said this guy had $40,000 worth of debt. His cars, credit cards, loans, and so forth. His income is $48,000 a year. So 10-year replacement is what your pastor said, which he was correct, is $480,000. If you have a mortgage, he has a mortgage of $250,000, and maybe he had 2 kids that's going to go to college for 4 years. It's going to cost him $160,000. See, what you're trying to do now is if you have kids like the little baby here, you don't want them to have to go get a loan. Because once you get a student loan, you pay what? For the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. I'm just saying. Okay? So in order to not have that debt, this guy here, he needs $930,000 worth of debt, worth of life insurance to take care of all his needs. So what that says is, if he should die tomorrow, no, his wife looking real good if she got that $930,000. He has left her sitting real pretty. Okay? All right, so go to next. So here, we established that we are the most important to generate income, correct? While you're young, you got to be able to generate the income in order to put something away like this, okay? All right, go. So manage your debt. I'm going to give you a little secret here and show you how I get you out of debt, okay? Go ahead. All right, so when you gave me all of your debt, you said you had student loan, you had a car loan, you had credit cards, and you had mortgage. Well, your credit cards totaled $25,000. You're spending out of control here. Your car, that's pretty decent. And student loan, that they must have been in school for 1 year. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying. All right. So normally your monthly payment, and and I want y'all to take some notes here because this is important here. Your monthly payment is $300 for your student loan, right? You're paying $350 for your car. Your credit cards, when you total them all up, you're paying about $400, okay? And your mortgage is $800, and you got a $50,000 mortgage, okay? All right, so this is what I would say. I would say, what amount of money could you set aside and give me, which is you, give yourself every month that you can put on your bills? Because most of the time when you pay your bills, how do you pay your bills? Tell me. If your minimum is 25 or 30, how much you pay them? How much? You do half, and what do you do? Huh?
You said if it was $25.
It was $25, or if it's $50, what do you normally pay them? You double it, $100? What do you do? You double? You pay the minimum. He young. He could be a millionaire by the time he get our age if he do right. Okay? All right, so let me show you how I do it. I say, well, give me $200. Each month you spend $200. If you smoke cigarettes, you go hang out, you drink, you spend $200. Easily. Okay? All right. So what we will do is we will take the smallest debt that you have. Let's show you how to do that. Smallest debt, which is $10,000. You pay $300 a month, right? I'm taking this $200, right? You're gonna add this $200 to your $300, right? And instead of sending them $300 for that student loan, you're gonna send them how much now? Hello? You're gonna pay that student loan off in what? Okay? When you pay that off, don't go partying with your friends. Because you're following the yellow brick road now, right? Okay. All right. So now this is gone. And you're going to call me and say, Michelle, girl, I paid off the loan. Say, keep going. All right? So now you're going to take this $500. Now, when you were doing this for 20 months, you were still paying the $350 on your car, and everything stayed the same here. Okay? So now, you're going to take this $500 because you just paid this off and you're going to put up here. How much you going to pay your car? What? You going to pay that off for what? I'm just saying. It works. I know it does because I'm done this. Right? Now, the credit card, now you can contest this, but it's where it is. So now, you pay this off. You are so excited, Michelle, I want to go get a new car. No! No, because we have an agenda. Okay? So we're taking this $850, in 37 months, your total now, instead of $25,000, it's $14,008, right? It was, now it's $11K because you've been paying normal payment of $400. You're taking this $850 and you bringing it to your credit cards, and now how much are you paying them on your credit cards now? You paid off in what? Okay. Once you pay this off in 8 months, you happy, right? Don't go use the credit cards no more. Once I give you that budget, you gotta stick with it. Okay? So now you pay that off and you move into your mortgage. How long does it take you to pay a mortgage off? 30 years.
For 15.
That's the term of it, like refinance.
Well, you refinance because you're mismanaging your money. Okay? All right. So now you're gonna take the $1,250 and you've been sending them $800 every month. Now you're sending them how much? How much?
2015.
You paying off in what? Click that for me. I just made you debt free in 54 months, 4.5 years.
Wow.
Okay, we need to talk. You ain't even got that much debt, girl. Stop playing. Okay. You don't really. You don't. Okay, so go ahead and hit that. Any questions? So when I say let's get started, right? You gotta be able to follow the yellow brick road. I can't tell you which way to go and you keep wanting to deviate. And then you say, Michelle, I'm not making progress. You're not making progress because I can just look at everything you've paid and know that you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Okay? All right, so getting started, there's 4 cornerstones of a strong financial future. First and foremost, you got to take your life insurance. And then you have to have a plan that gives you growth potential. Okay? And then you have to have the security by paying off your debt and getting free. Okay? All right, and then the tax benefits, which you don't pay taxes. If somebody dies, you don't pay taxes on your life insurance policy. Okay? Now, for his question, I want to address his question. Go ahead and finish. Your future, your plan for your future. The future is what? Okay. You need to have the proper what? Okay. And then you need what? Okay. Then you need what? Okay. You need to have tax benefits. All right. All right. Then you need what? That's the key. Growth potential. If you're doing something that's not making money for you, what? You're losing. Okay? If you're putting your money somewhere that is not getting what percentage, don't put it there. What was the percentage I told you that Einstein said? So if the lady at the bank say, you want to put your money in this savings, it's making point, you like, wait a minute, hold on, let me figure out something else. Because you've learned something. Okay? All right. All right, you make more money. You pay yourself first, right? You reduce your debt. You build equity. Okay? Security for your retirement. That's key. People, that's key. Building for your retirement. Anytime some of your friends say, let's go hang out. No, I'm building for my retirement. Oh, I'm putting away for this money. I can't play with y'all. Okay? All right? So grow with certainty. Know what it takes. Information is power, and you have to act. Most people don't plan to fail. They what?
Fail the plan.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. All right. So addressing financial goals. What is more important to you? Retirement, home ownership, generational wealth, college funding, financial stability. IULs take care of all of that. All right? So I want to address his question. He says, well, if you take the money out, do you have to pay it back? All right. So look, I'm just going to get one example of a lady that her IUL here, and she's a young lady. All right. She's paying $75 a month. All right. She's 26. In her first year, her accumulation value, which is what her money made, she's paying $60, I'm sorry, $60 a month, all right? She made $219 for that year, okay? The next year, she's making $438, all right? In her year 5, she's made $1,000, okay? So going to her year, let's say 58 years old, she has $50,000 there. But she's on a small plan, a 4% interest rate. So at a 4% interest rate, her money is doubling every 15 years. Okay? Your money quadruples. If she left it in and never messed with it until she reached the age of 66, because now that's the retirement age, 66, she has $100,475. Your savings can't do that. Now, if she got sick chronically, chronic means that she went to the doctor and the doctor told her that she was going to die in a year. She couldn't call me. And what they're going to do is they're going to advance her all of the death benefit or a portion of the death benefit, whichever one she chooses. She has 100-some-thousand there. Does she want 50 or does she want to take the 100? Now, addressing his question, what if she had taken 20,000 when she was 59? Okay. All right. So her death benefit is $140,000 At that time, it's 142,000 because it's growing with you. All right. So if he takes 20,000 from his IUL and he dies at 66, all right. So what they will do is take his death benefit, which is the 100,000. They'll pay the 20,000 off and give his beneficiary the rest of the money. But in her accumulated value, what her money has made based on the stock, right? At 66, it's 78,000 there. They're gonna give that to the beneficiary too.
So they got
178,000 minus 20,000.
Okay.
That they paid whatever he took away. They paid that back in his account, right? And they gave her the accumulated value based upon the stock, and they gave her the death benefit. She paid no taxes, nothing. She walked away with $178,000. Yes, sir.
So with the IUL, if you invest in a certain percentage, are you able to take that and invest into a higher percentage?
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
You said that, like, the example here was 4%. So are you able to take what you have and invest it into a higher percentage?
Yes. Every year, as my client, I'll come back and say, hey, let's look at your stuff. Let's look at what you're doing. Okay? And you can say, Michelle, you know what?